Hey guys, Chicago injury lawyer Scott DeSalvo here, caught in traffic on my way downtown for court, and I figured I'd shoot you a video about what to do if you have a missing defendant or there's a defendant, you don't know who they are, um, and all that stuff. So I got a couple of situations that came up in cases where, you'll be able to understand what I'm talking about. So the first situation is I had a car crash case, right? So a guy called me up and said, look, I was involved in a hit and run. I got a partial plate number, but the dude smashed into my car, and then, the police never followed up. Later, well, he hired me, and later we were able to find out that the police found what they believed was the car, and it was smashed up and abandoned. And it turns out the car was stolen, so there was no insurance coverage on it, and the person who stole the car got out of the car and ran. Now, this is not your typical situation where somebody gets into an accident in their own car and gets out and run and later makes a police report. This was a situation where there was a stolen car police report um, made before our crash. So the police were notified that the car had been stolen before our crash. So this was legit. It's not a fraud case where somebody smashes into you with their car, jumps out and runs, and later claims that the car was stolen, which unfortunately does happen now and again, which is, just an insane thing to do, especially if that person has insurance, because their insurance is going to cover everything. So, but this was legit. So we were able to identify the owners. We were able to, you know, get a copy of or confirm that it had been reported stolen. And we didn't even have a good physical description. So what do we do in that situation? Are you out of luck? Well, no. In that kind of situation, even though we can't identify, the first step is we have to do everything we can to try and identify who did it. And we did, right? But in this one, there was just no way to identify who it was. However, my client had what is called uninsured motorist coverage, and you probably have uninsured motorist coverage as well. That's insurance coverage that if a hit and run car hits and runs you, or they they uh, they have no insurance. You know who it is. They're broke. You can't sue them because they'll file bankruptcy and won't have to pay you anything. They have a car accident and just no auto insurance for you to sue. Your uninsured motorist coverage will step into the shoes of the defendant, defend the case, and ultimately pay any judgment or verdict or settlement that we get against them, right? So even if you get hit by a hit and run car, there's still possibilities for you to recover. Let me tell you about the other situation. The other situation is guy gets bit by a dog. Okay, pretty bad bite. Gets bit right on the leg, right on the kneecap, and ends up, it was pretty gory, pretty bad dog attack. And the problem is that the building in front of where the attack took place, the whoever was, like, no one was walking the dog. The dog was just roaming the streets. The guy had a collar, or the dog, not the guy had a collar. The dog had a collar, but obviously my guy never got a chance to see the dog's collar. Dog ran off after the attack. Police show up. The dog's not there. They're in front of a property. We have no idea if that's the property where the dog attack took place, right? And so we actually sent an investigator out to the neighborhood, and he knocked on all the doors within 6 houses either way and across the street, and asked whether, I guess it was like the dog looked like a pit bull mix. And the guy went to the neighborhood and talked to any neighbors that would allow him to talk. And no one knew the dog, knew who the owner was. Police report didn't have any ownership information. There was an animal control record created, but it didn't have the dog owner's name, the dog owner's address. They never located the dog. There was no follow-up. Why? Because there was no one to follow up with, right? Now, you know, a lot of times in dog bite cases, the police report, the animal control report identifies the owner's address, the type of dog, you know, what action was taken, etc., right? Well, that information is invaluable in these kinds of cases, and without it, we're dead in the water, right? So in this guy's case, without the defendant's information, we were completely out of luck, okay? Now, just out of the blue luck, my client happened to see the dog in a yard 3 blocks away, like months later, like literally after I told him, if we can't identify who the dog owner is, who are we going to sue? There's nobody to sue, right? And the other thing is, like, a big thing with dog bite cases is under the dog bite statute in Illinois, it's got to be the person keeping the dog. It can't just be a landlord who's not aware that the dog is there, or isn't really keeping the dog. If it's a renter keeping the dog and the landlord has no knowledge that the dog is there, there's no liability. The other thing is, if there's no insurance on a property, like a renter who has a dog or somebody who's keeping a dog, if they have no homeowners or renters insurance, they owe a ton of money on the house, or they're losing the house, or any of this other stuff, well, it's a problem. It's a problem because they're probably judgment proof, and you're probably not going to be able to get any money from them whatsoever. So that's sort of how that works. Anyway, in that one, we lucked out because the guy was able to give me an address. I was able to do an ownership search. The owner was renting the home. Ultimately, the homeowner's insurance, they didn't want to pay because the renter just got the dog right before the dog attack. And the lease says no pets. And so the owner had no idea that the dog was there. So if the owner doesn't know the dog is there, there's rules against having dogs. They're not allowed to have dogs. They just get the dog. What are we going to sue the owner for? The owner's not negligent, and they're not covered under the Animal Control Act. But in that one, the renter was covered. So in other words, like, sometimes just doing even though I hired an investigator and we came up short, and even though we got all the reports, we didn't find anything, we got lucky in that one because my client, who lived in the neighborhood, happened to see the dog in a yard months later, and we were able to do okay for him. He was happy with the outcome, and it was a close one, right? So my point is, like, there's all different ways. If you don't initially know who the defendant is, there's a million ways that a good injury lawyer can find out who's responsible if they take the time to do the work, right? If they know how to do it, and if they're committed to doing it, and if they pay attention to your case and try to do it, right? Some cases, there's literally nothing to be done, but usually we're able to figure something out and help the injured person, even if it first appears that the defendant is missing or unidentifiable. So anyway, hope that information helps you. If there's anything I can do for you, or if you or anyone you know needs a lawyer, needs help, please feel free to give me a call anytime, day or night. 312-500-4500. That's 312-500-4500. Okay? Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. If you or anyone you know has been hurt in an accident and needs a lawyer or even just has questions, give me a call anytime, day or night, at 312-500-4500. You can call me anytime, day or night, and the consultation is free. That's 312-500-4500. Or if you're not ready to talk to a lawyer, I made 2 great tools that really help people out that you can use for free on my website. The links are in the description. The first one is called the Case Cash Calculator, and it tells you what your case might be worth. The other is called the Good Case Calculator, and it tells you whether you might have a good case or you might have a case with some challenges. The best part is that they're 100% free to use on my website, and it only takes you 20 seconds flat to answer 7 multiple choice questions right off the top of your head. And then you get custom information about your particular injury situation fast and for free. So check them out, links in the description. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to my channel. I release 2 new videos every week, and this way you'll get notice of them. And if you have a question you'd like answered in a video, just leave a comment with your question in the comments section. Finally, if you enjoy my videos or if I've helped you in any way, I hope you'll consider doing me a favor. Injury law is a very competitive field, and I like having a small independent firm so I can help people who need it. People really rely on Google reviews when deciding who to hire, so I hope you'll consider leaving me a 5-star review on Google. It only takes a few seconds, but it's a favor to me that I would really appreciate. The link is in the description. You just go to that link, click 5 stars, say a kind word, hit submit, and you're done. Once again, I hope you and your family are well, and if anyone you know needs an injury lawyer or has questions, please send them my way by calling 312-500-4500. Thanks again for watching. Take care.